my role as a facilitator is to help bring the community together, to have a dialogue. And over the 2-year project, got to see some of the community, see the students and some of the residents, to see how they interact, how they dialogue. And it's just my role to try to give guidance and advice to the project and to the community and to the university. Well, my experience on campus, I think we had 1 or 2 dialogues on campus, and so my experience was just having the dialogues on campus. I did come up once the first year of the project and spoke to some African American students about professionalism, their career, in terms of how to get into the field that I'm in, dispute resolution. So that's been the extent of my on-campus experience. Well, as I said, I am one of the facilitators, and my experience with that has been very good in terms of helping to guide and bring people together over the different subject matters that were important for folks to come together over. There was only a couple of subjects that were more or less directed, so to speak, that was part of the plan, but out of the project there were a number of different subject matters that the people who came to the dialogue put forth and were discussed and came up with ideas on how to move forward, how to resolve issues, and how to move forward with those particular issues. For example, there was pride in Frostburg, for example, and they came up with paw prints to do. That was one of the outcomes of that. And then there was another, the slogan, Frostburg is just cooler here. That came out of the dialogue as well. One of the things that I've learned specifically, and something that I know because I do this work nationwide, is it's not easy to have community dialogues, to sustain it. There were people who would come and go. There were some there was a few who stayed all the way through, and to try to sustain a project like this takes a lot of effort to make it happen. So it just reinforced that for me, that in order to have a dialogue project in a community, is that it's got to be sustainable, and you've got to get people involved and keep them involved all throughout. Well, the 2 issues that I was, believe, asked to come to be a part of this are 2 issues that I deal with a lot across the country, and one is race relations. And there's one of the reasons why the funds were put together is to help have a dialogue around that. And it seemed to me that that dialogue did not come to fruition at the level that it could have and should have. And I think it's because, and it's not just Frostburg, it's across the U.S., it's hard for people to have these honest discussions. And so when we broke out into groups, typically that group was the smallest group. And then when we had a dialogue on race relations itself, it was a bigger group, it was a good dialogue, but it was mostly just students. And as you know, we wanted to have residents and students and everyone involved. So it seems to me that it's a tension that we've got to work on, not only here, but across the country, just being able to be open and having a conversation about it. And the other one was was housing. And the students were very, very concerned about the housing situation in terms of the codes and things like that, and rent prices and that. We made a lot of progress, but we didn't come to a resolution, so there's still a lot of dialogue that has to happen there. And those were the two things that I was chosen to come up and to get involved in. So we made some progress, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Well, one of the things that I would say, and it's kind of relates to what I said earlier, is that um, conflict is something that a lot of people avoid. And, you know, typically when folks are in conflict, they should talk more, and they usually talk less, and they don't want to be bothered with them, so they walk away. I would say it's good to do that in the heat of the moment, because you might say something that you shouldn't, but I think here in this particular dialogue, it's two things. That people came together and they talked about things they didn't normally, and they learned things about people they didn't know. So it's a plus. But again, going back to the race situation, they didn't really open up in that area except for the students. But students tend to be more open in that area anyway. And what we wanted to do was get the residents involved and have a bigger conversation. So that's what I learned, that you know, you can have conversation about conflict when you want to, but again, a lot of people are still hesitant to do that. Well, I I mentioned the you know, the paw prints and the slogan "It's cooler here," and some people from the evaluations that I read indicated that they learned a lot, and they learned more about other people that they wouldn't have normally learned had they not been a part of the process. Um, I think that there's a lot more to do. Bottom line is, it's just the beginning, and hopefully that there'd be enough interest to keep this dialogue going, because I think it's important, and we didn't achieve everything that we needed to, and I think if we can keep it going, that if the community can keep it going, it'll be a good thing. Well, my hope for the series is that it continues. Um, and I think that what it needs to do is there was some talk in the dialogue about trying to have a home for it, be it a building or a place where people can come together. I think there's really a divide between the community and the campus, and it's not unlike other town and gown, you know, campuses that are in a community. But I think by having a place where people feel comfortable, and that's what the dialogue is about, to have a place where people feel comfortable and can come together and talk about things. So it's my hope that there will, if it can happen, that there will be a place that community is welcome to come, students welcome to come, to have this dialogue, to keep communication and keep relationships going. Relationships are important, and I think the dialogue series can help that, because relationships are the key to life, because you can't do anything by yourself, and having friends, family, they all support and help each other, and that's the key to moving forward in life, and especially when you move on to your professional career and you embark upon it. If you know someone who knows someone that can help you get a job and help you move through your career, and hopefully you're helping someone else along the way. So relationships are very important in one's life, and it takes a while to learn that. And that's why you don't burn bridges, and you kind of help everyone as you move forward. as it takes a village to, to raise a child, it takes a village for everyone to kind of move forward. And you can have many villages because some people don't stay in one place. They move around. So relationships are very, very important. Recovery to me is like getting up after you've fallen down. And the ability to be able to do that is important because we're all going to stumble, we're all going to have barriers, and that's what makes us wiser, which makes us stronger. And in addition, if you're in a community and you have relationships, getting up from recovering from a fall is a lot easier than when you don't have anyone, and it's very traumatic and it's very difficult to do. So that's why, the dialogue series, the relationships, and the communication is very important. I mentioned it earlier. The thing that I would say about the series is, and it's kind of like some of the terms that you mentioned, um, overcoming barriers or things of that nature, because there were some things we didn't accomplish, but I think the journey takes with the initial step, and to look at this as a first step and to build on it to make it better. That's what folks have to continue to do, because if you stop, then it won't be the success it could be. So my hope is that folks will come back, surround the project, and give it all their energy and get other people involved so it could be sustainable and turn into something that's really, really good.